Getting past our body, our current circumstance, and time is difficult, yet it's worth the effort. In light of the fact that once we separate from three-layered reality, we enter an entirely separate reality called the quantum, the domain of boundless chance. Describing this reality is a process testing since it's not normal for anything we know about in the actual universe. The guidelines of Newtonian physical science, how we are accustomed to thinking the world works, essentially don't make a difference. The quantum or bound-together field is an undetectable field of energy and data, or you could say a field of knowledge or cognizance that exists beyond reality. Nothing physical or material exists there. It's beyond anything you can see with your faculties. This unified field of energy and data governs all the laws of nature. Scientists have been attempting to evaluate this interaction so we can all the more completely comprehend it, and they are finding increasingly more all the time. Founded on my insight and experience, I accept there's a self-coordinating insight that is energy, and it is seeing the universes as a whole and systems into request. Sometimes individuals will tell me that this thought appears to be a bit informal. I generally respond to them with the same inquiry: what occurs after a blast, request, or turmoil? Their response is consistently that problem results. Then I ask, so for what valid reason after the enormous detonation, which was the greatest blast at any point, has such a lot of request been made? Some insight should put together its energy and matter into structure and binding together every one of the powers of nature to make such a showstopper. That insight, that energy, is the quantum or unified field. To provide you with some idea of what the field resembles, envision removing every one individual and body on Earth, every one of the creatures and plants and actual objects, both regular and man-made, every one of the land masses, the seas, and, surprisingly, the actual Earth. Imagine you could then remove every one of the planets and moons and stars in our planetary group, including our Sun. And then imagine removing the wide range of various planetary groups in our system. And then every one of the universes in the universe. There's no air, and there isn't even any light that you can see with your eyes. There's absolute darkness, the void, the zero-point field. It's memorable's critical this since when you as a cognizance right now unfurl into the unified field, you will be in a limitless dark space, drained of anything actual. Now imagine that not in the least do you not see anything here, but because you go into this domain without an actual body, you likewise have no sight with which to see, nor do you have the ability to hear, feel, smell, or taste. You have no faculties here at all. The only way you can exist in the quantum is as a mindfulness, or better said, the only way you can encounter this domain is with your mindfulness, not your faculties. And since awareness will be mindfulness and mindfulness is focusing and seeing, once you are past the universe of the faculties, when you focus on the energy of the quantum field, your awareness is interfacing with more prominent degrees of recurrence and data. Yet as odd as this might sound, the quantum field isn't vacant. It's an endless field loaded up with recurrence or energy, and all recurrence conveys data. So consider the quantum field as being loaded up with endless measures of energy vibrating past the actual universe of matter and past our faculties, undetectable floods of energy accessible for us to use in creation. What precisely could we at any point make with this energy swimming in a limitless ocean of possibilities? That ultimately depends on us because, in short, the quantum field is the state where all prospects exist, and as I just said, when we end up in the quantum universe, we exist basically as a mindfulness, or as a cognizance, explicitly a mindfulness that is focusing on or noticing a field of boundless potential outcomes existing within a much more noteworthy awareness and a more noteworthy degree of energy. As you enter this unending, vast space as a mindfulness, there are no bodies, no individuals, no articles, no spots, and no time. Rather, boundless obscure conceivable outcomes exist as energy. So, on the off chance that you wind up speculation about known in your life, you are harking back to the three-layered truth of reality, yet in the event that you can remain in the darkness of the obscure for quite some time, it will set you up to make questions in your day-to-day existence. In the past video when I was training you to get back to the current second, I was alluding to you preventing yourself from contemplating the anticipated future or from recalling the recognizable past and basically unfurling into this everlasting huge space as an intention to never again put your consideration on any person or thing material in this three-layered reality like your body, individuals in your day-to-day existence, the you own, the spots you proceed to, and time itself. If you do that appropriately, you are only mindfulness. That is the way you arrive. Now we should back up a little and take a gander at how researchers came to find the quantum universe, which happened when they began concentrating on the subatomic world. They found that particles, the structure blocks of all that in the actual universe, are comprised of a core encompassed by an enormous field containing at least 1 electrons. This field is so enormous in examination with the minuscule electrons that it seems, by all accounts, to be 99.99% void space. In any case, as you just read, the space isn't really vacant. It's comprised of a huge range of vigorous frequencies that make up an imperceptible interconnected field of data. So everything in our known universe, in spite of the fact that it might seem, by all accounts, to be strong, is truly 99.99% energy or data. Truth be told, the majority of the universe is comprised of this vacant space. Matter is an imperceptibly little part, comparable to the gigantic space of nothing actual. Specialists before long found that the electrons that move around in that tremendous field act in a totally erratic way. They don't give off an impression of being dependent upon the very regulations that oversee matter in our bigger universe. They're here in 1 second and afterward gone the following, and it's difficult to foresee where and when the electrons will create the impression. That is on the grounds that, as the scientists ultimately found, the electrons exist all the while in a boundless number of conceivable outcomes or probabilities. It is just when an eyewitness concentrates and searches for something material that the imperceptible field of energy and data falls into a molecule we know as the electron. That is called imploding the wave capability, or a quantum occasion. Yet, when the spectator turns away, done noticing the electron and taking their psyche off the subatomic matter, it vanishes once again into energy. As such, that molecule of actual matter, the electron, can't exist until we notice it, offer it our consideration, and the second we're done putting our consideration on it, it turns around into energy, explicitly a fiery recurrence which researchers call a wave, and into plausibility. In this manner, brain and matter are connected in the quantum, by the way. Similarly, as we as an emotional cognizance are noticing the electron into structure, there's an objective universal cognizance that is continually seeing us all and our 3-layered reality into request and structure too. So how that affects you is this: in the event that you're seeing your life from a similar degree of psyche each and every day, expecting a future in light of your past, you are imploding limitless fields of energy into similar examples of data called your life. For instance, assuming you awaken and you believe, "Where's my aggravation?" Your recognizable aggravation before long seems in light of the fact that you anticipated that it should be there. Envision what might occur, all things being equal, in the event that you had the option to take your consideration off the actual world and the climate. As you learned in the last video, when you take your consideration off your body, you become no one, and you never again approach or any utilization for the faculties. When you take your consideration off individuals in your day-to-day existence, you become nobody. Thus, you never again have a way of life as a parent, an accomplice, a kin, a companion, or even as an individual from a calling, a strict gathering, an ideological group, or an ethnicity. You have no race, no orientation, no sexual direction, and no age. When you take your consideration off items and spots in the actual climate, you are in no thing and no place. At long last, in the event that you require some investment which has a past and a future, you are in the blink of an eye. You are right now in which all prospects in the quantum field exist. Since you are done relating to or associated with the actual world, you are done attempting to influence matter with issue. You are past issue and past how you distinguish yourself as a body in reality. Undeniably, you are in the monstrous obscurity of the brought-together field where nothing material exists. That is the immediate impact of ceaselessly laboring to get to the current second that I portrayed in the past video. The second that happens, you unfurl your consideration and energy into an obscure field, past issue, where all prospects exist. A field comprised of only imperceptible frequencies conveying data or cognizance. And very much like the quantum researchers who took their consideration off the electron just to find that it returned to energy and probability, if you somehow happen to take your consideration off your life or get past the memory of your life ought to transform into probability. All things considered, on the off chance that you center around the realized, you get the known. Whether you center around the obscure, you make a chance. The more you can wade in that field of endless conceivable outcomes as a mindfulness mindful that you know, in this perpetual dark space without putting your consideration on your body, on things, or on individuals, places, and time, the more you focus profoundly on the unknown, the more you will make another experience or additional chances in your day-to-day existence. It's the law. In conclusion, embracing the concept of the quantum universe opens up a realm of infinite potential and possibilities. By understanding that everything in our known universe is primarily energy or information, we can learn to shape our reality beyond the constraints of matter. By shifting our focus from the known to the unknown, we tap into the boundless field of the quantum, where our consciousness becomes the key to creating new experiences and opportunities. It's a profound journey of self-awareness and transformation, where we realize the power of our attention in shaping the fabric of existence itself.